Christ the King back in 1981 as a young priest. A lot of people think I only started in 2000, but I started here in 1981, right after ordination. I remember after one of the morning masses, the Sunday Mass, as I was going out the back and greeting people, a woman came up to me and she said something that stuck with me since that day. She was honest enough to say this: "Didn't prepare today, Father, huh?" And I said, and how many, those who are visitors, think of this, would you say this to your pastor? But she had the courage to say, "Father, let me explain something. We rely on this homily to get through the week. Don't be mailing it in." And from that time, I always took it seriously. So this homily, as is always the case, is not going to be about the fact that it's like last Sunday. It's about the readings, because it's so very important for us every week to recognize that we need this to get through the week. Now, one of the messages that's presented today, certainly from the prophet Jeremiah, who's in the midst of people trying to take him down, but also Jesus, who is preparing his disciples and apostles to go out into the world. He says to them, "Look, fear not, do not be afraid." And Jesus says it 3 times today in this gospel passage. Don't allow fear to dictate your life. And so he challenges all of us, because fear is a part of life. There are going to be circumstances in our lives that are going to elicit fear, anxiety, concern. How is it going to work out? Will I be successful? Will I fail? What will other people think of my efforts? Will they appreciate it? Will they not appreciate it? And so in our lives, there is fear. And it's a benefit, because fear speaks to us of threats that might be around us. They hopefully call forth from us and gather our resources to handle the circumstances that we encounter in life. But Jesus said this, in essence: don't allow fear to dictate who you are. Don't allow fear to determine how you're going to live your life. Don't allow the circumstances that you confront mandate who you are. You mandate who you are in the state or in the face of the circumstances. Now, I remember a situation that we had years ago when I was a new police officer. And when I was a new police officer, I was sent to a precinct, the 2-4 precinct up in the west side of Manhattan. And there were 200 of us sent to this new precinct because of a previous scandal that they had. And so they, in essence, they replaced 3/4 of the precinct with guys who didn't know what they were doing. And so we all went up there as 21-year-olds, and so every day before roll call, we call it you'd muster, and we solve each other's problems. We'd get together, and because we'd have problems either personally or in our families, and so we'd get together. Guys would ask one another, "So what do you do with a wife who doesn't want to cook?" So things like that. How do you raise your children? And we're asking one another, guys who have no children. We're going to be the expert on it. So one day this happened, that one of the officers says this: "My 8-year-old son, my wife, she took him to a horror movie. Now he won't go to sleep because he thinks the boogeyman is living under his bed." So we get together and we're trying to figure this out, help him out, and try to give him encouragement. So somebody said to him, "Well, show him that there's nothing under the bed." He said, "No, it doesn't work." He said, "Because we show him during the day, but then at night, he goes in, even if we have a night light, he thinks the boogeyman is taking up residence under the bed." So we said, "Well, this is a solution. Go in at night with a flashlight and point the flashlight under the bed and say, 'Look, there's no boogeyman under the bed.'" And so he did that and tried that and came back and he said, "No, it doesn't work," because he thinks that the boogeyman goes away when the flashlight is present, but he comes back when the flashlight is gone. So we said to him, one of the officers said to him, "Well, explain to your son that you're a police officer and that you'll protect him, that you'll never allow anything to happen to him, that he's safe at home." And so he tried that, and he said, "No, that." He came back and he said, "No, that didn't work." So now, we were young and foolish, so understand this. So he comes back, still frustrated that his son is not sleeping. He's not sleeping because his son's not sleeping. And so he says, "No, I don't know what's going to work." So one of our fellow officers said, well, go into the room and fire your service revolver under the bed 3 or 4 times and say, the boogeyman's not surviving this. So somebody said, oh yeah, he won't be afraid of the boogeyman, he'll be afraid of you. That his father's out of control. So now this is going on in the course of these daily roll call and muster. And so eventually he came back and he said, no, it's still not working. And off to the corner was an old-timer who had been watching this and listening to this, and he said this: shave the legs of the bed off the bed. So we said, what? He said, cut the legs of the bed off the bed. And so we said, and ruin the furniture? He said, cut the legs of the bed off the bed so that the mattress is sitting on the floor, then nothing will be living under that bed. Do you know that works? Now I tell you that story because of this. There are many fears and anxieties in all of our lives. And the reality is, there are people here who are still afraid of the boogeyman. But there are, and in whatever form, there are solutions to those fears and anxieties. And even if we haven't come up with them at the present time, there are solutions that are present to us. And one of the solutions I think that should be present to us is this: everybody should have a place of sanctuary in their life. Whether that is an environment where you can go to be safe and secure, or your own heart. I've used this before because I think that it's one of my favorite movies. If you ever remember the Shawshank Redemption, that movie, it was a great movie. And one of the scenes in the movie was that Andy Dufresne, who spent 30 days or 60 days in the hole, he came out and they said, boy, that must have been the worst experience of your life. And he said this: no, I had my music with me. And they said, they allow you to bring the, here's a word you remember, they allowed you to bring the Victrola into the, how many remember a Victrola? Or a phonograph, right? And he said, no, I had it in here. I had it in here. They could never take that from me. And that is true for all of us. There should be a sanctuary in our lives that no one and nothing can take from us. It should be the place where we can go in the presence of God, being nurtured and nourished and cared for. A place where even fear does not enter. And it is up to us to ensure that that sanctuary is present to us. Now here is a secret I want to leave with you. A lot of people think that the pastor or the priest of the parish is there to ensure that your relationship with God is strengthened. I am not here for you. You have been here for me. You have made me who I am. It is not just me coming into a parish and responding to you. You make the priest who he is. It is the gift that you provide and the power that you possess. And it'll make no difference whether it's Father Jeffry, Father Gordon, Father Francis, Father Michael, Father Mark. It is you who gift us with the presence of Jesus Christ. It is you who gift us with the power of God's Spirit working in our lives. It is you who have provided for us a glimpse of the presence of God's kingdom in our midst. And so I believe in this, in terms of the parish of Christ the King, that it will go on without Father Jeffrey, because you are here. It will go on without any of the priests who have been here before, because of your faith, because of your witness, because of your love. And if I could leave a suggestion for you, priests hate this. Well, Father Jeffry never did it that way. Medical. I didn't like it when they kept saying, Father George didn't do it that way. And I responded, that's because I'm not Father George. Each of us are unique. Not only priests, parishioners, all of us have unique gifts and talents that we have provided for one another. I thank you for the many years that I have been at Christ the King. It has been my home for more than half my priesthood. I just celebrated 36 years as a priest. I've had 20 of them here at Christ the King. And so, I appreciate all that you have done and all that you are and all that you have provided me. And I want you to know I will only be down the road if you need me. But I am not interfering in this parish. But I have been named the dean of this area, so I am in charge I expect to hear that Christ the King has even risen to do even greater things than were done when I was here. Praise God, that will happen. Let us stand